Yo, what's good people? This your boy, Sean J, representing Debonair Millionaires. Today we'll be talking about the Great Wealth Transfer. What is it, what you should know about it, and what you can do about it. Let's get it. So if you are watching this video, you probably already heard of the Great Wealth Transfer. You probably already, had it mentioned to you, or maybe you've been watching videos about what it is, but you haven't had enough specific information to actually make you feel involved. So with this video, I hope to give you great detail of what it is, past, present, future, and the details to make you take part of the process of this transfer. So I encourage you, go ahead to like and subscribe. I hope to earn that from you, so let's get it. So before we begin, I want to let y'all know that I am not a certified financial advisor. I am a bona fide investor, and anything that y'all hear today is really strictly information that I gave you in details that I've done my research on. I hope that you do your research too and find out that it's truthful. All right, so let's begin. So what exactly is the Great Wealth Transfer? Well, the name is pretty on point. I'm gonna let y'all know. It's really just a transfer of wealth from one to the next, which that could be wealth as in meaning money, a business, or a value, or houses, or whatever, assets, basically, from one hand to the next. So to give you more detail, there are three specific ways that this transfer will happen. Okay, number one is generational wealth. All right, so that is the change of hands, between father and son, or it's going to be like a family thing, but we can still infiltrate that system too, just to let y'all know. Number two will be geographical. Geographical means from country to country, or city to city. Sometimes there are going to be cities that going to be failing, and there will be some cities that will succeed. So we want to be in front of the ball on this one. So I'm gonna let y'all know what to look for and how to be involved in that wealth transfer. Number three is one that we're all going to be involved in, and we really have no choice. This is the technology transfer, and I don't mean changing the hands of technology. I mean that the technology is getting so good that there's going to be a lot of people that's going to be losing some jobs, and there's some people that's going to be gaining a lot of money from this. All right, so we want to be on the right side of that. So I'm going to go ahead and give you all the details on that too. So when did all this start? Well, to let you know in a timeline type of way, it all started when, that virus came down in 2020. When that happened, that was the ready, set, go. All right, so let me give you the timeline, right? The first thing that happened was the stock market fell, right? Because people were scared, right? So I want to let y'all know that the stock market is basically like the economy's heartbeat. So whenever you see that go down, there's something going on. So why did it go down? Well, the stock market is basically a group of investors and smart economists that see everything. The stock market is basically those people placing bets on what they think that will happen, right? So when they saw that the airports, the international airports won't be flying any other countries in, when they closed down the borders, they knew something was real. They knew it was serious. And then they knew from then that they should put in what they call a put. A put is a bet, basically saying that the price of whatever they're betting on, it's about to go down. So those investors were the first to make money from this wealth transfer. So next on our timeline, if you can remember, right after that, that's when people had to be quarantined. People were forced to stay in their homes. They couldn't go outside unless they had an essential job, or unless something, that was an emergency. So most people could not go to work to gain money. So it was just, how were you going to pay for the bills, right? So essentially, it scared a lot of people. People who were on the fence, who had assets, were like, you know what? I don't know what's going to happen next. I'm going to go ahead and sell my house. And me, I thought about it. I thought about the whole COVID thing, but I was more into how can I build my real estate portfolio than to just, stay in the house. I'm not one of those people who like to watch television or anything. Essentially, as an investor, that you're going to take risks. So I knew that COVID or whatever else was out there, but I didn't care. I wanted to improve my portfolio. That's all I cared about. So that's exactly what I did. I looked at distressed owners or distressed homes even, and I bought up. Whenever you're investing, when you see that the crowd's going one way, you gotta think about, you don't want to be the sheep, be the wolf. You know what I'm saying? Why are they moving that one way? If that's happening, I guess I'll take the risk, you know? You only got one life to live. Go after what you want. I knew I wanted to build my portfolio. That's exactly what I did. So back to the timeline, I believe what happened next was the forbearance thing. This is the third part of wealth transfer. When they started that, that's when people, where they didn't have to pay their, their mortgage, So when they didn't have to pay their mortgage, that let them save some money. And also if they did have an essential job, they could gain some money at the same time. So it was a little cheat code for those people. So those people were now having an abundance of extra money. When you don't have to pay your biggest expense, which is either your rent or your mortgage, you're doing pretty well, all you got is your car payment and things like that. So they took your biggest expense away for months on end, and now begins the split of where the wealth transfer started to switch.
I'm very urgent about this is what's gonna happen in 15, 20 years. Middle class is gonna be completely gone.
Right? There was a group of people who saw that money as extra income and then put it away for, something that might come along, right? But then there's that group of people who, I lived in Atlanta at the time, and they thought that going to the mall and buying up the Gucci and stuff was the place or the thing to do. So the government realized that, hey, there's people still suffering out here. What can we do? Right? And this brings up the fourth piece of the wealth transfer. That's when they started the stimulus checks.
Wondering about your stimulus payment?
Hell yeah.
The IRS has shared that direct deposits may be available as soon as January.
Okay, I'm gonna stop up then.
Stimulus checks is, I think it was $1,400 for each person. I think they gave out three. They got out three different checks. So it was like $4,200 for each person. And kids got it. So if you had kids, you got even more money, right? So this was another thing, right? Some people paid off more of their debt from their credit cards, right? And other people, they went to go eat at seafood restaurants and stuff like that. But there's another group of people, right? They took that money and they put that straight in the stock market, straight into the crypto market, right? And how do I know this? Well, at the time, I was already into stocks and stuff like that. And I felt like it's time to amp up the risk, you know what I'm saying? Like I said before, you're not an investor unless you take a risk. So it was time to get into the most risky asset, which is cryptocurrency. I already knew about Bitcoin. I already had some Bitcoin. I already had some Ethereum. But I really wanted to dive deep into any other cryptos that I believed that would, go up higher. And there was one called Solana. And at the time, it was $3. So if you would have took that $4,200 and put it into Solana, which was $3 at the time, then you would have probably had 1,400 coins at that moment. And then Solana had went up from $3 to $260. And I think it was November, December. So within a year, you would have had $364,000 from $4,200. So that's just an example, but that's the past. We don't have to explore it anymore. We'll continue on to the present. All right, let's get to it. So when they gave that stimulus money out, do you think that was for you? To be honest, do you think that was for you? Do you think that was like the blessing of the government's heart? No. I'm gonna tell you right now, it was not for you. It was for the businesses. The business essentially got paid 3 times in 1 year. One from that stimulus check that, whoever bought from that company, they got that money. Number 2, if you can remember, some businesses also got the forgivable PPP loans. So that's another way they got the money. Number 3, if like I know, what you do is you depreciate your assets. So if you got a house, real estate, or anything like that, you're depreciating that just so you don't have to pay as much taxes. Number 4, you get to claim your business expenses as a loss. So anything that helped your business out, you get to claim that, and you get to claim that off of your taxes too. So some businesses got paid a lot of money, while everybody else, you got the Family American Rescue Plan, which they gave you. I said that about the last video where that just stopped this year. So you won't be given that big tax return. If you have any questions about it, I'll put the video down in the description below. If you had a brick and mortar store, that's a little bit different, But if you had a store that was an online store, you're selling some type of intellectual property or something like that, or if you had an Amazon store, you were winning. So number 5, I would say the 5th culprit is the business owner. So enough about the past. Let's talk about the present. What's happening right now? What can we do right now to be a part of this wealth transfer? As you can remember, I said there's 3 types, right? The generational, the geographical, technological. All 3 of those are transfers that I'm gonna go into detail right here, right now. So let's first talk about the generational wealth transfer. I want you to think about our population. Our population is slowing down around the world. Sperm count's low. People not getting married as much. Looks like the genders are kind of not liking each other for some reason. There's a bunch of different aspects to show that our population is slowing down. But that means that the baby boomers who have started most of the businesses are, aging, getting to the age of retirement where they don't want to do it any longer, right? Most of these people, 83% of these business owners are first generational rich people, you know what I'm saying? So they've never been rich before, and they were the first one, they got it out of the mud, as some people would call it, right?
Success rate, this is what happens. Two beautiful individuals create some sort of wealth, then we grow old and gray, and then two beautiful individuals, my daughter and my son, our daughter and our son, is now taking over. They wind up spending it all, wasting it all, burning it all, getting distracted, and then my grandbabies, third generation, has nothing. That stat is like a 70-80% stat. That's what happens.
The problem with those people is they usually want to give their child everything growing up, right? They usually want to, anything that they didn't have, they want to give it to their child, which is a horrible thing.
You're insane! What are you gonna mow them over? Yeah, I'm gonna mow them over. That way you get out of your room for a little while. Maybe you'll get a job. You've been out of school 3 months now. Gaming is gonna be my job. Never gonna quit playing.
For children, because you want that child to become themselves. You don't want to give it to them, then that makes it too easy. And you might have seen it with rappers and their kids.
I know what it feels like to have nothing, all right? I had to rebuild my life over with $6,700 a month.
Marquise, I know you feel like that ain't a lot of money, but it's a lot of people here watching right now.
It's
girls that's getting $200 a month child.
If I told you right now, right, you got to start your life over right now with $6,700 a month and rebuild your life.
Yes.
Can you do it? You
with
have nothing.
$6,700, yes, I can.
I'm
from either or budget. $6,700, I'm good.
That's what I'm
month,
saying.
nigga.
If you look at that stuff, you could see that they're having an issue with their kids, falling in line. So this is where we come in, right? So the name of the game right now is called acquisition, right? And that's basically buying assets, buying businesses, buying houses, buying whatever is out here. If you have the money, it's time to buy. And if you cannot get the money, that's where we come in. I'm telling you right now, if you need help trying to learn how to get business credit, that's what I do. This how I started off in the game, and that's what I teach now too. So if you ever wanted to learn that, I can teach you. But if you already have the money, or if you have some money saved up, I'm just letting you know right now, this is where we come in. We're gonna start buying up the block. This is a thing. You can buy a business instead of starting a business. A lot of people don't know that, but you can actually buy a business instead of start a new business. Like, why would you start a new one when you can buy a working one, right? But business I would look to buy, right? Those businesses are the essential businesses. If COVID taught us anything, go after the essential businesses, like air conditioned heating, definitely a good one. A liquor store, definitely a good one. Nursing home, retirement home. That's, like I said, the aging population, they're gonna need somewhere to go after they retire. If they don't make enough money to leave the country or something. If you start buying retirement homes, I'm telling you, so it's gonna be a good business, and it's profitable. It's the government will help you start that business also. That's number one, generational wealth. That's how we will infiltrate that system. We have to buy in, you know what I'm saying? You can't just go, you have to buy into that game, okay? Other than that, they're not gonna let you in. All right, generational wealth is a little bit different, but I can help you get the money if you need it. Okay, so number two, geographical wealth transfer. So as you can see, there's a lot of places on earth where the taxes has risen, Certain places are not doing as well as other places. Where I'll give you an example of New York, right? There's a lot of people leaving New York and going to other places. There's a lot of people leaving California and going to Florida and Texas, those places are growing. So if you could see that those taxes, you're seeing places like that all over the country, really. Even the EU over in Europe has gotten hit by, Russia and the oil debacle over here. With that being said, you can see that there is a mass migration, either from city to city, state to state, or country to country, It's happening all over the world. Now, if you can see the countries that are letting people, pay less taxes. That's where the millionaires are flooding to. If you can find out where the migration is going before they start getting there, that's one thing, right? So on another scale, what just happened, right? All around the world, there is this thing called the World Cup, right? The World Cup is a soccer, well, they call it football. It's recorded for the entire world and it's set off in different countries every 4 years, right? So in 2026, where do you think this tournament is gonna happen? Well, I can already tell you, it's gonna happen in Mexico, it's gonna happen in the United States, and it's gonna happen in Canada, okay? So now it's your job to figure out the cities. Now, if you can go ahead and start investing in those cities, buying up a little bit out of the streets, finding out what services is gonna be needed during that time, because what they're doing is gonna build for those people to come through to, watch those games. It's very important all around the world. People really love World Cup. But the way I got into real estate, because I found out that the Super Bowl was coming to Atlanta. So I looked into that information, looking into the future instead of just the right now, you know what I'm saying? I always look into the future, seeing like, where are things going? Where is money gonna be needed? And what should I do to get some of that money, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna give y'all one more geographical one, right? And this one is about real estate, because I'm into real estate a lot, right? But just because houses are expensive in America doesn't mean you can't buy them outside of America. You understand that? Like, they're not as expensive as you think they are over there. So if you were to buy some real estate over in a country that is up and coming, and it welcomes visitors, then you're in a good place. Look for a place that is around an international airport that has up and coming events, just like the World Cup. You just gotta look for that type of thing. And there are tax breaks for that too. So if you thinking about investing in a different country, there's ways to do it, and there's ways that you can be above the system when you do it. Let's get to the third one, the technological transfer, right? This transfer is basically hitting everybody. It's hitting everyone. So as we all know, that technology is advancing faster than ever. It is advancing so fast that pretty soon we're gonna wonder, what the hell can we do to work or earn money? Pretty soon, like, it's gonna get to that level. But what I wanted to say with this is that we're not there yet, right? But we did notice, business owners at least, we did notice that if you could work from home, then why did we need you? Why do we need to pay you that salary that you're asking for? So they are now looking at anybody across the globe. So they're basically looking for anybody who has the same specifications for you, but they can just pay less. And there's some people who do not make as much as Americans do, or there's some people who do not make as much as other people do, and they're willing to take that lower pay. So I want to let y'all know that is happening right now. You're going to hear more deep accents, whatever you call it, into any business. But the good thing is that there are still opportunities out there where you can still go abroad. You can still go to different countries, and you can still, if you can still work from home, why choose to live in an expensive place? You can move from anywhere to anywhere. If you can do your job and continue to get the certificates that you need, why not move to a place that's less costly and that's beautiful in nature? That's a lot of people are doing. I met a lot of expats in Mexico even. So the thing about that is that I'm not sure about the stability. You're gonna need to constantly get more and more certificates just to show that you are eligible to continue your job. Then people will get better. So the more certificates that you can bring, or even thinking about being a teacher into that. So I find it funny that back in like 2016, people were trying to build a wall to keep their jobs. You know what I'm saying?
Build that wall, build that wall, build that wall, build that wall, build that wall.
People from Mexico was going to steal their jobs or whatever. But now, as you can see with technology advancing, it's going to be either people from a different country anyway that's going to take your job over the internet, or it's going to be AI itself that's going to do it. I'm hearing about McDonald's in Japan, where all you do is order from a machine and the machine will do everything. It doesn't even have nobody that works for it. So things like that is happening right now. So we need to get serious about what we really want to do, right? I want to end this out with this, right? I want to let people know that there is no more time to just, pussyfoot around. You know what I'm saying? You don't have many opportunities out there. They're lessening the opportunities. They're giving the opportunities away to people who are willing to get paid less. So I want to let you know this, right? If you live in America, this is my people in America, right? I used to be the same way, so do not feel any type of way like I'm talking down to you or anything like that. But having an iPhone is a luxury. Having a car is a luxury. Having running water is a luxury. Having electricity is a luxury. Having internet is a luxury. So use those things to your advantage. So with that being said, I would like for people to know that you have the access to grow the lifestyle that you want. You just have to plan it, you know? And if you need help on any of that, just, you know, ask me a question, man. I don't mind giving out the information. Stop looking at what everybody else is doing and focus on what you need to do, which is, if you want to start a business, it's time to start that business. Don't wait too long, because we don't know when these laws are going to change that help our businesses. We don't know what's going to happen in the near future. So I'm saying to you right now, your time isn't limited, but at least do something with your time. You know what I'm saying? So that's all I got for y'all today. Hope I gave y'all enough information that you at least want to start anything. But if y'all have any questions, or if y'all want some more details, or if y'all want some more ideas, I got plenty of them. I can let y'all know that. All right, so holla at your boy.